I definitely need a haircut. Definitely. Anyway guys, I'm using the new mic that I bought on this whole video. I'm using my old vlogging camera in between, but please tell me in the comments below if you hear a difference. We've been taking it from a distance, videos from close up, so please do tell me what you think of it. And this is just a normal video. It's more like a day in my life, but I'm just showing you something as well. So enjoy. Alright, so you guys can see in the heading of this video, the video I want to make is how to service and remove an XT drive cassette or cluster number one, and then how to remove the bearings inside the pre-op body and the hub itself. So basically the first thing you're going to do is, most of you guys don't know this, but there's a little lock button here on your derailleur, and that helps you to take out the wheel. So when it's like this, you're going to push it, it's only on SRAM derailleurs, you're going to push it down and then basically push that thing in, and when you release, the derailleur will hang like this, making it super easy to remove the wheel. And that's just one little neat tip I'm going to share with you guys. And up next I'll show you guys how to remove this, and then the bearings inside your XD drive free-up body, and then the hub itself. Alright, so the first two, the two tools you're going to need for this will be your fork tool or whatever chain tool you've got, and then your cassette removal tool. And basically what you're going to do is, as always with a normal cassette, you're going to put it on. Some people put it here at the top, some people put it at the bottom. I just put it at the bottom usually, and it will remove exactly the same as your normal cassette. The only thing is you'll keep on turning this till it's off the free hub body itself. This is a cluster, so you're going to remove the whole thing. Keep on turning there. At a point you'll see the whole thing comes off. And yeah, now for the hub and then the BB. You can see I'm tired. We're going to do the XT drive and then the hub on the inside. So I'll show you guys step by step. It might be a long video, but for all you guys who really want to see that, I'll show it to you. Alright, so we've removed the cluster or cassette, and some of the wheels does have these normal caps that you can pull off, dust caps. Some of them, you'll see there's two little grooves on this side and two little grooves on this side, which means that you're going to have to take two cone spanners and to be able to remove them. Just make sure some of them is normal righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so it will remove like a normal screw. Some of them are the other way around, so your thread is reversed, so then it will feel like you're tightening it, but then it will remove. So just make sure about that. All the hubs differ. This one, in this case, has the normal caps that you just pull off. So you're going to pull that cap off there. Going to pull this cap off on this side, like that. Just make sure, you'll see the one is a bit taller than the other one. The taller one is usually on your non-drive side. And when I'm talking about non-drive side, I'm talking about the side where your rotor sits. And then the drive side is obviously where the cluster or cassette is. Now in most cases your free body should just pull off. I'm going to try that. And when pulling it off, make sure there's a lot of small little springs etc. inside here. Make sure you don't lose any of those. And just pull that off. Alright, this one doesn't have a lot of springs in here, but you can just pull that off. You can see all those little springs in there. It's quite dirty, so I'm going to clean that. And then what happens with this one is you're just basically going to tap it out to the one side. It will take one of the bearings with. And then I'll show you guys how to remove the other one, or you can just tap out the other one on the other side as well. So I'm quickly going to do that. I'm not going to show you guys exactly step by step, but I will do a hyperlapse of that. And then I'll show you guys how the bearings look, and then how we replace the new bearings, and now we assemble the whole thing from there. In some cases on the axle itself it's got a small little O-ring washer here on this O-ring on it, and they don't always have that, so just make sure you remove that little thing there, otherwise it will give you some issues removing the axle through the bearings. It will get stuck inside there, so just make sure you remove those two little O-rings on your axle. Alright, there's a specific tool you guys are going to need to be able to pull out or take out the bearings from your XD drive. This is called a blind hole bearing puller. It's actually a massive thing for the job that it does. Get that part there that you screw into the bearing and it expands, holding onto the bearing itself. Then you've got this little, I call it a hammer slide because you hammer it out. So you're going to push this whole thing in there, and then you should be able to just withdraw, it pulls out the bearing. Let me see here quickly. And just make sure, I've actually seen this now for the first time in a very long time. I've just ordered bearings and I saw the 60802 on the inner side, let's say the non-drive side of the drive side, so the side that's against your hub, the hub side. I saw 60802, and then when the bearings got here and I saw, yes, but this side is actually, on the further side, this side actually is a 6902. So when ordering a bearings, just make sure you've got all the bearings in correct sizes. Luckily I have these bearings in stock. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, this should just slide out. Like that. So yeah, it slides out, you can see how dirty it is in there. And that makes a nice creaking sound when you're riding, and that's not the best thing. So we're going to replace this bearing. I'm going to do the same with the other side. I'm going to take that bearing out, pull it out. Clean it. I'm going to replace these two bearings. They are shot, so we replace that. I'm going to put it back. I'll just make a highlight video of how to put it back, because putting it back is the same as taking it out, just in reverse. So I'm going to clean this quickly, put it back, and then I'll see if the creaking noise is gone. Alright, so one of the problems we already have on this axle here, don't know if you can see there, it's a bit of, I'm going to call it rust, but it's not rust, it's the way that the bearing was sitting there, and then there went some grime and a lot of dirt in there, and that actually corroded this whole little axle here. But anyway, what you can do is you can get yourself one of these little scrubbers here. I've already done the other side. It came clean quite good. I hope this side will come clean, because you can actually feel the grooves in here, and you don't want that, especially when you running bearings and everything just presses in. If there's play on anything, the whole axle will have play on the wheel. So what they're going to try to do is just clean this up a little bit. You can't use any sanding paper or anything, because then you will actually take away some of this aluminium. It's a very, very soft piece of metal, this. So you're going to use one of these and put on some, I use this Worth Multi product, or whatever you can use. You can even use some soap. I'm just going to put this on here, and then I'm just going to take my piece off. I'm just going to see if I can clean some of that off. If it doesn't come off everything, it's not a problem. You just want to make sure you've got most of it off. So that you can re-grease it and then just put back the bearings. But it should come off as see, it's just a bit of grime on there. Let's see. Now you see, this actually went into the axle itself. It's a lot smoother now, but you won't get all of that off. So the best thing now will to be either replace this or just give it some grease and hope it doesn't have any play on the axle. I won't like this, so if it was my bike I would have replaced this. But yeah, on this client's bike we'll just put it back, and I'll notify him of that. If he wants to replace it, we'll just replace it for him. But yeah, make sure you service your bike regularly so this doesn't happen. Alright, this is just something I want to remind you guys of. Inside, I don't know if you'll see it, but inside your XD drive there's that little pipe, spacer or adapter, or just, I'm going to call it spacer because it keeps the two bearings also that specific width from apart. You'll remember in the previous clip when I took out this bearing, it fell like that. Anyway, just make sure when you're pressing into your two bearings, don't press it down all the way, because then you're going to struggle to center that little thing inside there. And remember, it needs to be 100% centered, because when it's inside your wheel, your axle actually is going to have to go through it, and if it's not centered, then you're going to struggle with that. So the other thing I want to tell you guys about, these little, I'm going to call it ratchets, or these little teeth here catches on the inside of your hub, and that makes you go forward. And when you free, these are the things that makes that tick noise, that tick, 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 tick as you free. Remember, you have to grease them or just give them a sort of lube. Don't use something like this red rubber grease or anything else that's too sticky, because then you'll see there, they stand up like that. Then that won't happen. Then you will have an issue with your wheel not freeing or not being able to pedal. So do lube them, but use a lube that's just a nice oily residue that will make sure they don't get sticky. I'm going to put this back quickly, and then we'll see if the creaking noise is out of the wheel. Alright, so the wheel's sorted, and usually there's motivation as usual, but today I just want to tell you guys, if you really truly believe that you can do something, and you really truly believe that there's a way to be able to do that something, then do it. Most of the times we sit in a position where we're not happy with what we have, we're not happy with what we're doing, and we're just wasting time. And I felt like that many times, and but you must be careful, because sometimes you need to realize that you need to find the love and the passion, or re-find the love and the passion for the sport or what you have at this moment. For example, me in the cycling store, there's been super difficult times, and I've shared that on my channel as well. There's been super difficult times, but then at a point when you get past that, you just rediscover the love and the passion that you have for what you're doing. And I think the YouTube channel and what I'm doing here, I'm a very bad YouTuber. I'm not one of the best, but I enjoy sharing things with you guys and girls. I've got a lot of girls subscribing, so hit that subscribe button. Anyway, I need to find the passion and the refine. Sorry. Anyway, just had a client on the phone real quick. Yeah, so rediscover your passion and love for what you're doing. I know it won't always be easy and don't always be fun and games, but if you're doing something that you hate and you really don't like at the moment, look out for something else. I'm not saying quit your job or anything, please, but make sure that what you're doing, there's a passion and a love for that. Otherwise, find something else like a hobby. Most of you guys doing cycling, keep that hobby and make sure you have passion and love for that. So guys, be strong, stay safe, and never say never.